Okay, I think I've got the live stream up and running. I'm just going to open a browser on a second screen so I can get to my documentation for the aeroplane to walk through it with you. Okay, we are in business. So this evening we're taking a look. Before we get started, let me go and check volume levels. See, I turned it right down the other day. I'm going to turn it right back up again now. We can always turn it down if the airplane's quite noisy. I think it's always value to you being able to hear what I can hear. So, this evening we have the Piaggio P180 in the Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. I didn't realise it was now compatible with 2024 until somebody told me this morning. So I spent the morning working on the functional procedure for it and took it for a couple of test flights, and then life took over for the rest of the day, and we're now at 10 o'clock in the evening, and it's the first time I've had to sit down with the simulator again. So let's go and have a look around it. I'm going to use the drone camera to move our camera around it. If you've not seen it, it's developed by FlightFX and it's available via the marketplace in Flight Simulator. And it really is quite special, I guess. It's not a native 2024 aeroplane, it's just a very, very nicely built 2020 aeroplane that happens to be compatible with 2024, or as compatible as I've seen anyway. So it doesn't have some of the newer features like the fluid modelling for the exhausts and things like that. And some of the material modelling isn't quite up to scratch with what's possible in 2024 now, but there's nothing to complain about. It's very, very good in its own right. So you can see the quality of the texturing is very good. You have to get pretty close to see flaws in it. And you can see I've gone in, it's how do we put this? It understands the simulator logo, also tail number system, so it will paint the aircraft with your tail number that you've assigned in the simulator. So someone's asking in the live stream, what is the speed of this aircraft? It does about just under 250 knots. You'll see it later. It's capable of going a lot faster than that. So you end up running at 50% power most of the time. It's got an awful lot of power. So you can see it's nice and smooth. So we are at an airfield I've not visited before actually, and it happens to be a really accurately developed airfield in Flight Simulator. So we're going to go and have a look at that. That's interesting. Why is that moving? Oh, it's the drone camera. So I better unhook the drone camera when we've finished with it. It's affecting the ailerons while we're sitting here, which is, I've never seen that happen before. So let's go and have a look around the undercarriage. So it's really nicely done, isn't it? Even the internals of the bays are really nicely done. Even the brake calipers are nicely done. Oh my word, the detail that the developers go to these days, or the artists I should say, is just incredible, isn't it? Let's come up into the cockpit, or into the cabin, and have a look around. There's lots of interactive elements. I'll come back down the cabin with the pilot view in a moment, because obviously you can't interact when you're in drone camera mode. But you can see it's wonderfully modelled. It has the 2020 pilots. Like I said, it's not a native 2024 aircraft. Everything's very clear. So maybe it doesn't look quite as real as some of the aeroplanes within, amongst the avionics and switchgear. But I don't mind that as long as it's nice and clear and everything works as it should, and it does. So, yeah, we're not going to complain about that. I think we've been spoiled recently because I've looked at several Coronado aeroplanes, and they have a habit of being photographic quality. Okay, so we're going to leave this camera here. I'm now going to go and unplug my drone camera so I don't get any spurious inputs on the controls. And then we're going to press Shift and X to go inside the aeroplane, and we'll go and see if I can remember the click spots to go and close the doors. Well, I mean, we can close the doors elsewhere, it's not really a big problem, but I'm just wondering where the click spot is to close it. Actually, is that going to do it? Yeah. So everything else sounds. So let's go and have a look down through the cockpit, shall we? So if we move ourselves along, we can unfurl the tables. We can do that both sides. We can unfurl the TV screens as well, both sides of the cabin. We can undo doors and things and have a nosy around. It's very nicely done, isn't it? We can open various cupboards and look inside them, which is it's always good fun, isn't it, doing this sort of thing. I'm not sure if you can we make a cup of tea? No, it's just a click spot for the next one. So yeah, they've gone to town with the interactive elements. I wonder how many drawers actually open. Is there something in all of them? We're going to be really nosy now, aren't we? And open all of the drawers and see what they've got. It's very cool, isn't it? So, let's go through into the cockpit. You can see there's a sticky note left on here. Notice to airmen, use mode steer on the yoke to toggle. So that's the button here. We're not going to have to worry about that. I'll explain why in a moment. Use ground idle when taxiing. Hydraulics must be on for steering and gear deployment. So we can remove this note. So we've got a tablet over here. If you go into the settings on the tablet, that lets you control the chocks and the instrument covers and the engine covers. And so we've gone and closed those. We've closed the doors already. You'll notice there's some bits and pieces you can put into the cockpit. So if we say executive and we look around, you'll see there's now a laptop down here, which is quite good fun. It's not interactive, I don't think, but I wouldn't expect it to be. You can put clutter around the place as well. So I think that just, puts things like the books in the back pockets of the seats and things like that. Various food things you can leave around the cabin and various bits of luggage, but we're going to leave all of those alone. Now you can see there's an automatic steering mode. Without that, you have to use the steer mode button to do nose wheel steering. So we're going to leave that helper on just to make our life easy. So I'm going to be following a handwritten functional procedure to start the airplane up. So I went through the documentation for the airplane earlier and I wrote this guide. And you can get a copy of it there's a link in the notes of the video that you're watching to this page, and you can go and get a copy for a price of a cup of coffee. It goes through everything you need to do to get the airplane ready. So you've got pre-flight with all the master switches. So all the views around the airplane, how to get the engine started, how to get the avionics systems up and running properly, get the hydraulics up and running, how to program a flight plan from end to end, how to do everything basically. So, final checks before you take off. But yeah, so the major part, the half the reason I looked at this airplane is because one of my friends said, have you done a video on it yet? Because I can't figure out how the flight management system works. So I've gone and figured it out. So I'm going to show you how it works. Okay, so let's go and start working through the documentation with us together then. So we're going to start off by pressing... Actually, I'm going to do this by looking around because it gives you more orientation. In the instructions, I've said to use things like Shift and 3 and Shift and 2 and Shift and 1 to help you look around. But we're just going to do this by looking around. So we can pop the yokes off just while we're doing this so you can see what we're doing. So we're going to go and put the batteries on first. Okay, so you can see some of the warning lights come up. And we can go and cancel those warnings and cautions. We're going to go and put the avionics to COM mode 1. So I'm just trying to remember where everything is now. So here we go. There's the lights down here, and we've got avionics over here. So COM mode 1, or COM 1 only, I should say. And we're going to prepare for engine start. So we do this pretty much straight away. So we're going to go and put the anti-collision lights to ground. And then we're going to go and open the fuel valves. So they are over here. So we've got the left and the right fuel valves. And then we're going to do right engine start first. So we can see over here, here's the starters for the engine. Ignition can be left on normal. So if we go right, and you'll see the NG flies up very quickly. Once it's got past about 13%, you can go and bring the fuel in for the ground idle, and you'll see the engine come up. Let's go and see what the volume levels are like. Yeah, you can hear me over the top of it. So if we look outside, you can see that engine coming up. So as soon as the engine is leveled out, we can go and put the generator on for the right engine. Okay, and then we can go and start the left engine. You'll notice the starter for the right engine has flicked back on its own. So left starter, watching the NG, it flies past where we need it to be, so we can advance the propeller lever, and it comes up all on its own. And we wait for it to level out, so the torque will shoot up and then fall back down again. It's all fully automatic. And then we're going to go and put the left generator on as well. Okay, so after engine start, we come back down here and we go and put the EPU to armed. Then avionics switch can go to on or up, so you'll see the other screens come up and flash through their initialization sequence. So give them a few seconds to do that. While that's happening, we can go and put the bleed air left and right on, and then we can go and turn the auto feather to armed, and I can never remember where this is. Pedestal in the middle. Auto feather armed, there we go. Okay, we can go and calibrate the altimeter, so I'll press comma. Have we got live weather on? Let's go and have a look. It's up here, isn't it? Let's go and make sure we've got live weather on. No, it's not live because... interesting, okay. I wound the time back so we'd have some daytime because it's obviously quite late. So hydraulics can come on now. Now the engines are running, and there you can see the gauge bumps into life, and then we can go to program the flight plan. So flight FMS is down here. I'm going to press Shift and 2 so you can see it from a sensible angle, and we'll go and set it up. So we're going to go to position initialization. We're going to pick up the GNS position and hit complete, and you'll see this update after a few seconds. Hopefully give it a second or try again. There it goes, it's done it. And we can't say what airport we're taking off from. This is kind of retrofitted from a Boeing as far as I can see, and it's not fully implemented. So we go into flight plan, and then we can put in our origin and destination. So in the way that Boeing systems tend to work, boxes are mandatory fields, hyphens are optional. So we're going to go and put in our route, so BIAR, so that's going into the scratch pad down here, and then you can select the field to fill it in with, and that does that. And we're going to fly over to Isafjordu. We're going to do a bit of a roundabout route and go scouting around the place. So BIIS is Isafjordu. BIIS, drop that in, and that gives us our distance of our route, and we should be able to execute that. So that kind of programs it in. We can put flight number in if we want, so we could say 123 or whatever our flight plan happens to be. And we can put airways and waypoints in here if we want to. but we're not going to bother because we're just going to be vectoring around the place. But have we got any waypoints that are worth? Not really. We're going via airfields. I'm not sure if it will allow us to do via airfields. Let's try it. So we're going to go to Husavik first. So BIHU. So let's try it and see if it will let us do this sort of thing. This will be interesting actually to find out. So, yep, direct to Husavik. Notice it now says page 2 up here, so we can put more direct waypoints in if we want. So then we'll come back to the AKI VOR. So AKI. So no airways involved, so we're going straight to... So AKI is... Let's go and check the position of it in the world. 65 degrees, 45. There it is. Look, it's that one. Okay, so that's put on page 2. AKI is there, and then we're going to fly over to Alexander. BIKR. BIKR. We're going to put some more fuel in the aeroplane in a moment, which I should have done earlier. And then Blonduos. BIBL. BIBL. Then I'm not sure how you pronounce this one, but BIGJ. I'm not going to mangle it out of respect for the natives. BIGJ. And then down to Husavik. Holmavik. BIHK. BIHK. So we'll just do touch and goes at some of these. Some of them will just fly over. Notice we can now go to a third page. And then over to, there's a waypoint here, Kumux. KUMUX. And we'll execute those changes. So if we go and look in legs now, they're all in here. But we can also go and do our arrival into... I was doing departure first, look. So our departure out of here is going to be the Cuba 1 Foxtrot, ending at Cubas. So runway 01, Cuba 1 Foxtrot, and we can just execute that. If we go and look then at the arrivals into Isafjordu, so if we go BIIS arrivals, we can then go and have a look and see what I've sketched in here in little nav map. So we've got a bit of a roundabout run in, but that's fine because it's just into here, look. So it's just the approach brings us along here. So it's the RNAV into a runway 26, isn't it? With the QMAX transition. So RNAV into, now is it RNAV D? So RNAV D with the QMAX transition, that's it, and execute it. So then if we look in the legs, we can skip down through the legs and we can go next, next, and there's discontinuity. So in the same way this always tends to work, we can go clear and then remove discontinuity and execute. I wonder if it's got the Boeing way where you can select the previous waypoint. That's interesting, isn't it? It's got that as far as Amkin, but we should be on the ground. Oh, it's the missed approach. Okay, don't need to worry about that. Okay, so we're on runway 01. We can go into the performance data as well. So we can go performance initialization. We can put in our cruise altitude. So say if we were going to fly at 5,000 feet, we probably won't, but we'll program it in anyway. And then we can go to takeoff parameters. We can put the outside air temperature. So can we find that out easily in a little nav map without opening Navigraph up? Show information for Akureyri. Where's the weather? It doesn't say, does it? That's annoying. So I'm just going to pop open Navigraph, which will give us that. It's just for completeness to show you that you can program all this stuff in. So I unload that, I do a new flight, and I'm going to borrow the flight plan from little nav map, and we'll go and we're doing a new flight. So we click the pencil, we paste it in, we get rid of that bit, and we press enter, and it should make sense of it. There it comes. So coming in, we're coming in runway 26, and taking off, we're taking off runway 01. And the reason we came in here was to go and find out the outside air temperature at our departure airport, which is 15 degrees centigrade. So 15. It's not going to have much bearing on what we're doing. Press execute to make the changes take effect, and we're good to go. So we can leave that on the flight plan page or the legs page. Legs page probably makes a bit more sense, but the reason for doing all of this in the first place is we've now got a GPS route on the system, so you can see we can follow it around with the next leg always highlighted in magenta. So we need to put some fuel in the airplane, don't we? I forgot to do it before we started the engines, and it won't stop you doing this. It's quite forgiving. So mass and balance, fuel, let's fill it up. 80%, loading aircraft, close that. So just to show you how this works as well, for the guidance systems you can switch the source, so you press nav over here and nav source comes up, and then you can flick between VOR or FMS, so that means GPS basically. So that's fairly straightforward. There is a radar you can switch on as well. It's got a fairly standard mode control panel overhead for the aircraft. It's a bit unusual in that the vertical speed is on the left hand side. Usually you'd expect to find that over on the right somewhere and everything else to be shunted this way, but there we go. Okay, so should we carry on with getting the airplane ready? We've programmed the flight plan and we're going to go, and we could go and set a target altitude, I guess, so we don't have to worry about doing it later. So I'm just rolling this and keeping an eye on the number here. Altitude. So we'll say 5,000 feet. Runway we're taking off from is 01, so we'll set the heading to 10 degrees. It probably isn't the same as the compass direction it's stated as, but we'll find out. We can preset autopilot modes, so if you watch the top of the attitude indicator, if we go and press heading for example, it will light up. Okay, so we could go nav as well, and it will choose heading over nav until it realizes it's close to the signal, and then it will grab it, same as all other autopilots tend to work. Okay, so we're getting ready to taxi out and fly. So you can see the only warnings we've got are to do with the stall and pitot heaters, which are here. We're going to go and put the seatbelt lights on, if I can remember where they are. Down here, aren't they? Fasten belts. We're going to put the position lights on until we get out onto the runway. And I'll try not to waggle the power sticks around while we're sat here. Taxi lights are down by the gear lever, bizarrely, and they're not with the rest of the lights, so we can do that. And you can hear them extending out of the body of the aeroplane. They're underneath the nose, look. So we're taking off runway 01. Let's go and have a look at the airport. And I was going to do this with SayIntentions. I'm debating whether to do it or not. If I call a tower and see what they say. So we've got tower here at Akureyri. Akureyri, is it? I'm not sure how you pronounce it. So we are going to be Piaggio Golf Juliet Bravo Echo Kilo, and we're going to be requesting taxi to runway 01. Okay. Let's put head tracking on. Tower Piaggio Golf Juliet Bravo Echo Kilo requesting taxi to runway 01.
Piaggio Bravo Echo Kilo, taxi to runway 01 via Alpha.
Taxi to runway 01 via Alpha, Bravo Echo Kilo. Okay, so we're going to edge the throttles forwards, and we're moving. So I can see people asking, can I test this, can I test the other? Why don't you buy the aeroplane and test it if you want to put the aeroplane in the ground in a variety of interesting ways? No, I'm not going to do any failure modelling. I just want to fly the aeroplane in a fairly sensible manner and do some sightseeing as well, because Iceland is beautiful. Let's have a look from outside. So it's going to rumble down to the far end of the runway. So as far as I can tell, this is one of the stock airports. Looks incredible, doesn't it? So because this is a 2020 plane appearing in 2024, there's various bits that don't work as well as they might. So if we go and look at the Navigraph map, it flashes. That's common in lots of 2020 planes that have been moved through. Same with the map. There's obviously some programming in here that it doesn't like, but it doesn't affect anything else. So let's go and put the pitot heats on. And we'll turn the aeroplane around in a moment. And before we get going, we've got a whole laundry list of bits and pieces to do with like preparing the engines and lights and all the rest of it. It's got a very good turning circle. Okay, let's bring it to a halt. We'll turn the head tracking off for a moment. So, lined up on the runway, we're going to go to the external lights. We're going to go and put the anti-collision lights on now. We're going to go and put the recognition lights on now. We don't need wing lights, that's really just for checking for ice. Although we are in Iceland, so we might want to check it on the way. We're going to put the propeller levers all the way through to max now. And then landing lights can go to landing. We got the static heats on. We're going to go flaps to takeoff, and you can see them extending out. They've moved out quite quickly. If I extend the flaps further, they actually change shape quite a lot and extend further away from the wing. So I'm going to put them back to how I wanted them. It's really nicely animated, isn't it? Okay. And press Alt and 7 to turn. That's the key that I've got mapped to turn the head tracking on and off. Okay. It's incredibly powerful. I've got quite a lot of power left over here. I'm not going max power at all. I'm at about 75% on the Airbus throttles.
Akureyri Tower, good morning. Blackbird Echo Kilo.
In the air, look. So 110 knots is the rotate speed. I left it for a second. So I've put the gear up already.
Clearance on request. Stand by.
So get the flaps can come up.
Vector to retour at the NAS files. Departure runway 19, air climb to 4,000 feet. Departure frequency 125.39, squawk 1671, Blackbird Echo Kilo.
Piaggio Bravo Echo Kilo, you are not cleared to take off. Advise when ready to copy a phone number for possible pilot deviation.
I did that on purpose. Oh dear, I wanted to show you that because I did it the other day. It's fantastic, isn't it? But I did that on purpose just so you'd get to hear that. I did it by accident the other day and it made me laugh so much. I thought the next live flight I do, I'm going to have to do that to see you do get the call to say we've got a number for you to call. It's very cool, isn't it? pulling the power back. And we're going to go for a little bit of an explore. So we've got to follow this route out, is the official route, but we can play with the flight plan on the way. So autopilot is very straightforward. So you can hear that noise is the trim. So I'm going to go and set the heading bug. We can press the heading bug, which puts it in the direction we're going. So I'll press heading mode for the autopilot. If I go and turn the autopilot on, so it's now on, and we can press altitude hold mode. So you can see it flashing there. So it's just doing heading and altitude hold. You can see the airspeed creeping up even at 50% power. Well, not even at 50% power actually. I am now. And look at it accelerating. So, obviously we can pull the RPM back now. So you can look at the book numbers to figure out, you know, what the most efficient propeller speeds are to run at. Okay. So we're at 2,500 feet. We've got 5,000 feet programmed. What we can do is say go to flight level change mode.
Akureyri Tower.
And then
good morning, Blackbird Echo Kilo Heavy, requesting IFR clearance to Echo Papa.
If we check the speed back, so we're moving the speed marker, it will turn the power we're putting in into climb right, so you can see the climb shooting up in flight level change mode.
Oscar Kilo, after departure, flight
obviously we can open this up, it's got bags of power, so I've just wound up the engines up, you can see them coming up. And look at the climb rate. So we're zooming up towards 5,000 feet. So let's go and take it up a bit higher than that. Let's just say 7.5. If I can get the altitude to not accelerate. You have to be quite careful rolling the altitude knob. It does accelerate on the numbers. So if we wanted it to follow the flight plan for us, we just put it into nav mode and it will start steering. You can see the flight directors there are working and it's flashing, it's captured. So it's doing it, look. So it's now following the programmed flight plan. So you'll see the magenta line's gone out in front of us towards Cubas. Have we come out of the top of this cloud yet? Coming up through 6,000 feet. And the landing lights can come off now, can't they? So if I show that, you'll see it winding back in, look. It's now nice and sleek. Yeah, you're coming up towards 7,500 feet. And we need to pull the power back because otherwise we'll just accelerate straight through the airframe limit. Okay, there we go. It is a grey aeroplane, isn't it? It looks gorgeous as well. So we're going to go and cut this corner off. So what we'll do, again, this is me trying things as well. I've only flown it for like half an hour, just enough to learn the ins and outs of operating it. So we're going to press heading mode to line it up with the direction we're going. We're going to go heading mode on the autopilot and turn the desired heading across our course back towards Husavik. And then we'll come into the FMS. So the actual game we're playing here is, if we show it here, we're going to Bihu next. So what we'll do, let's see if it works like a Boeing. Bihu, yes it does. We can just pull it up the list and that makes this the next leg. Oh, actually no, it's got that slightly wrong look. So we'll do direct to, it thinks we're going from Bihu to Aki. I got that wrong. So we want to go direct to Bihu. So we should be able to type in BIHU and it will put it in at the front of the flight plan. Execute. Yeah, there you go, look, it's done it. So we still need to go and put, we're only in heading mode, remember. So we still need to turn the aeroplane towards Husavik. So we're going to go a little way further up the coast than the airport because that's where the town is. So let's go and have a look at the heating because I haven't got much confidence that we won't turn ourselves into a frozen lump. So it's on automatic internally. What about anti-ice measures? Do we get any warnings? I guess we might get icing show up. It would be interesting if we do. And then we've got the switches down here to control it. So we're going to put the windshield heating on low just so we don't go and accidentally... Whoa, I just turned that off, look. Just so we don't unwittingly freeze the... As we're coming into this cloud, freeze the windscreen to a solid lump. Okay, so we're en route to Husavik. So yeah, we're just coming through the path, or a little while ago. Look, we're just leaving it away. So the CDI is falling away because we're getting further away from the path. But this is on purpose. So I don't really want to descend unless I can clearly see what's in front of us. So let's try the radar out, shall we? So we've got terrain, radar. So, terrain. Can we control whether it's below or above? I'm not sure. Menu.
Epoch via Red 1 Delta departure runway 19 and climb to 4,000 feet. Departure on 125.39er. Squawk G674 Blackbird Echo Kilo. Akureyri Tower, Blackbird Echo Kilo, requesting engine startup and taxi to active runway.
Blackbird Echo Kilo, engine start approved. Taxi to runway 19er via Alpha. Cross runway 01 at your discretion.
Let's go to center. Center Piaggio Golf Juliet Bravo Echo Kilo, requesting flight following.
Bravo Echo Kilo, squawk 2457 and ident.
So we want 2457, so 24. And 57. And ident.
Piaggio Bravo Echo Kilo identified 7 northwest of Akureyri at flight level 70 QNH 1002.
Okay, let's come off the autopilot and pull the power back. And we're going to circle round and have a look at Husavik. So the only reason I'm visiting Husavik is because there it is down there. I watched the Eurovision movie the other night for the first time in a long, long time, and it's set here. Well, this is, where the protagonists of the movie are from. So it's this tiny little fishing village in Iceland. So coming back off the power, you have to be careful about not pulling it back too far. So I'm just going to circle Husavik before we carry on our merry way. Go and do some touch and goes at some of the nearby airfields, one of which should be Husavik actually. So there's the fishing boat port, and it's got some fishing boats down there. Fantastic. Just keeping an eye on the airspeed.
Control, easy 1942 with you, flight level 133, climbing flight level 270.
Easy 1942, Reykjavik control, climb flight level 320.
We're going to lose sight of this, aren't
Climb
we?
flight level 320, easy
We
1942.
haven't got much lateral visibility.
Request IFR clearance to Reykjavik.
Let's go and look from outside. Is that a sailing ship down there? Oh, it's just a couple of yachts, isn't there? So there's the airfield. So which way is the wind? If we just ask for permission, Husavik. Centre Piaggio Bravo Echo Kilo requesting touch and go at Husavik.
Piaggio Bravo Echo Kilo, cleared for touch and go at Husavik, runway 25, report on the go.
Cleared for touch and go, runway 25 at Husavik, will report on the go, Bravo Echo Kilo. Except we don't have a runway 25. But the terrain radar's working. Now we're getting low enough for it to kick in. That's cool. Centre Bravo Echo Kilo requesting touch and go runway 20 at Husavik.
Piaggio Bravo Echo Kilo, runway 20 is not available. Cleared for touch and go at runway 25. Report on the go.
Okay, we're going to ignore that, but yeah, obviously there's a problem here with the data. Just side slipping us slightly to slow us down. It really doesn't like side slipping very much. It tends to roll. So I'm having to fight it with quite a lot of aileron. Coming in a little bit fast, but it's okay.
Piaggio Bravo Echo Kilo, where are you headed?
Eventually we're going to Isafjordu, Bravo Echo Kilo.
Piaggio Bravo Echo Kilo, roger. Continuous plan to Isafjordu.
But we're going to ask for touch and goes at every airfield along the way just to make it a bit more interesting. So you can see the flight plan down here. It's fairly straightforward. So, Ozzy is asking, are the other pilots on the frequency real people? Yes. And no. AI has become so good you can't tell anymore. To prove it to you, I'm going to go to intercom and I'm going to change channel 2 to the mentor, and I'm going to change the mentor to me. I have volunteered my voice to become one of the mentors in Say Intentions, so let's go and ask him. Hi Jonathan, what can you tell us about the Piaggio P180?
The Piaggio P180 Avanti is a unique aircraft known for its distinctive twin-engine configuration and pusher propellers. It offers impressive speed and fuel efficiency, making it a great choice for business travel. The aircraft features a spacious cabin and advanced avionics, including the Garmin G1000 system, which enhances situational awareness and navigation capabilities. Its performance is optimized for short takeoff and landing, making it versatile for various airports.
So there you go, I've heard enough of my own voice now. Let's go and change the... should we go for tour guide? And we'll choose Sarah, who I've used in the past for as a tour guide. Hi Sarah, what can you tell us about this part of Iceland? So remember, this is not a real person.
This part of Iceland is known for its stunning natural landscapes, including the nearby Skjálfandafljót River, which is famous for its beautiful waterfalls, particularly the Godafoss, or Waterfall of the Gods. Legend has it that when Iceland converted to Christianity in the year 1000, the chieftain threw his pagan idols into the waterfall, marking a significant moment in Icelandic history. The river itself is about 140 kilometers long and is a popular spot for salmon fishing and whitewater rafting, attracting adventure seekers and nature lovers alike. So, if you see some folks in boats down there, they're probably trying to catch dinner or just enjoying a wild ride.
Okay, so we're going to try and find our way to this next airfield. I'm going to overfly it and then request a touch and go from centre again. So what's the name of it? Oh, sorry, no, this is the VOR we're coming up to. So there is an airfield, but that's where we took off from. So we're just navigating via the... Now, it does have a name, doesn't it? Akureyri. I'm not sure how you pronounce that. So I probably butchered that terribly, and I do apologise. It's interesting that we're getting some graphical artifacts where it doesn't like rendering these clouds. They are quite horrific, mind, but...
I'm working on that clearance. Stand by. Well, 4622, easy 19.
So we can increase the range on this. There we go. So yeah, a better answer to your question about are the people we're hearing real or not, Say Intentions uses every trick in the book to fill the radio in. So we've got simulated aircraft in the sky around us using a preview of a feature they'll be releasing soon, where they do traffic injection into the simulator. We've also got real people in the airspace, so if anybody else is using Say Intentions nearby, we will hear them if they've chosen to share their broadcasts. But they'll get attenuation on the radio signal in the same way that the real world would, so they'll die off in the distance. But also, in order to fill dead space, to make it a bit more interesting when you're flying on your own and there's nobody around, they, if you allow them to do it, they can cache your previous recordings. And then they play them back for anybody that's nearby in the near future. So you'll get a sprinkling of other pilots that came this way, just to make it sound a little bit more busy when you're in, completely empty airspace. Also, this aeroplane is available from the marketplace in the simulator. It's not very expensive either. It's a lovely aeroplane. The button clicking you're hearing is me on the trim. So we really need to cross this hill in front of us, don't we? It's quite, you can just see the texture. Look, there's some boulders poking through the snow here and there. It's quite dramatic out here, isn't it?
Grumpy Bear, climb flight level 290.
Climb to flight level 290, Grumpy Bear.
Why are people using silly call signs and being allowed to get away with it? Kind of breaks immersion for everybody else, doesn't it? Okay, I'm not happy with this. So we have got radar though, remember. So unless it goes red in front of us, we know we're okay. So we're going to trust in our instruments. But this is pretty frightening because we're right in the cloud layer, look. We're just touching the bottom of it. In between it and the hills. And it'd be game over pretty quickly if we slam into one of these, wouldn't it? Let's drop down a little bit. Just gently out of the base of the cloud. Have I flown Antarctica yet? I probably have, but I can't remember. I'm just trying to think. These landscapes always fascinate me though. Especially the simulator is very good at drawing crevasses and ice flows and things like that. It's very, very atmospheric. And, you know, layers of snow. So you can see, look, windswept snow across the rocks here. Done really nicely. The crazy thing is if you turn this to kind of warm weather, all of the snow will vanish and it'll all be verdant with dramatic rock faces, and yeah, it's a crazy landscape. Okay, so we're just picking our way along towards Alexander. So if we go down over the water instead of skimming the hilltops, descend a little bit. So we're at 5,000 feet at the moment.
The departure, this is Grumpy Bear Airways. Could I have takeoff clearance runway 362 London Gatwick?
1 second while I grab the paperwork.
Yes, my apologies. Yes, it's to London Heathrow.
I wonder if SayIntentions will have to put their foot down and stop people from inventing airlines with spurious names. Probably not something they saw coming, because I didn't. pretty sure they've got terms of service as well, which if someone was to report somebody with a completely ridiculous airline name, they might find their account taken away from them in pretty short order. Okay, so we're coming up towards Alexander. Centre, Golf Juliet Bravo Echo Kilo requesting touch and go at Alexander.
Piaggio Bravo Echo Kilo, Alexander is not available. Cleared for touch and go at runway 26. Report on the go.
Cancelling touch and go. Request Bravo Echo Kilo. Have they got a tower here? Can I talk to them instead? No.
Piaggio Bravo Echo Kilo, touch and go request cancelled. Continue with current flight plan to Isafjordu.
So what we're going to do is not do a touch and go, but we're going to fly low along the runway.
Reykjavik Control, November Tango 87 Sierra Bravo at flight level 100.
November Tango 87 Sierra Bravo, Reykjavik Control identified. Good afternoon.
Yeah, I think it's just a shame for all the people that are on here and trying to do things correctly, and maybe that it's their hobby is aviation and they're trying their best to sound and operate like a commercial pilot, and then somebody comes along and makes up some sort of silly airline name, and it kind of ruins it for everybody else, doesn't it? I mean, it probably sounds like I'm being a bit aloof about it all, but I feel sorry for the others more than annoyed at anybody that does it. Because there would be nothing to stop me. This is the problem with large language model AI, is I could go and invent a call sign which is a derogatory term, for example. And I could probably continue doing it for quite some time before I got found out. Anyway, let's go and circle in and come in low along the runway here. We're not allowed to land here, so we're just going to make a noise. To the speed climbing. Even at minimum power, this thing is just picking up speed like nobody's business. So we're going to do a low pass without a touchdown. Tell you what, so we don't get into too much trouble, we'll stay to one side of the runway.
Rocky Beach Control, this is Grumpy Bear Airways. I am looking for IFR clearance to London Heathrow, please.
I'll have your clearance in just a second.
Let's go and have a little look at the map, see where we are. So we're going to do a right turn and go around to Blonduos. Blonduos? How do you pronounce that? Going to go and skim over these hills. let's rather than pronounce it, it's Bravo India Bravo Lima. Centre Piaggio Golf Juliet Bravo Echo Kilo requesting touch and go at Bravo India Bravo Lima.
Piaggio Bravo Echo Kilo, cleared for touch and go at Bibble, runway 26. Report on the go.
Cleared for touch and go, we'll report on the go. Have they sold us runway 26? It's got it wrong, hasn't it? It's got this runway 26 stuck in its head. There's obviously, I mean, I know...
Piaggio Bravo Echo Kilo, cleared for touch and go at runway 26. Report on the go.
Let's challenge it on it. There is no runway 26. There is a runway 21. Centre, please confirm runway 21 at Bravo India Bravo Lima. There is no runway 26.
Piaggio Bravo Echo Kilo, runway 21 is confirmed at Babel. Cleared for touch and go on runway 21. Report on the go.
Cleared for touch and go, runway 21, Bravo Echo Kilo. So, the thing that just struck me about that...
Piaggio Bravo Echo Kilo, cleared for touch and go on runway 21. Report on the go.
Yeah, it doesn't understand me confirming it, does it? The thing that struck me about that just then, I watched an interesting video with a scientist called Hannah Fry talking about large language model AI, and that it's actually not as clever as you think it is, but it's very, very good at being what you want it to be. So if you keep that in mind, you can often bend it to your will. It's very good at, you know, being what you want it to be rather than what you imagine it is being. So you can lead it astray. So we're just looping around to give ourselves some run in towards the airfield. I think it's down below these hills. So we're going to need some time to descend and lose some airspeed. While we're doing this, I could be running transmitter, couldn't I? So if anybody's seen the news from me the last couple of days, you'll know exactly what transmitter is and what I've just switched on. If not, I'll show the rest of you in a moment after we've done a touch and go. I'll put ourselves on autopilot and show you what transmitter is. Oh, we're the wrong side of the runway. It's right in front of us, isn't it?
Climb level 180, Grumpy Bear.
Grumpy Bear, climb flight level 220.
Climb to flight level 220, Grumpy Bear.
Grumpy Bear, climb flight level 250.
there's the airfield. I wonder if there's a way of removing the tablet, of actually switching it off. Removing it from the cockpit. There's probably a click spot somewhere. I'll have to check the documentation. You can't click the holder, can you? No. I bet the people that live here get pretty fed up of aeroplanes coming in low over the town. I'm just putting myself on the Pappy approach, look. And look how low we're going to be over the buildings. Going to be almost alongside the church spire. I'm just half expecting to see it out of the corner of the cockpit there. Bumpy old runway. Centre Bravo Echo Kilo, departing Bravo India, Bravo Lima.
Piaggio Bravo Echo Kilo, continue on course to Isafjordu. Maintain current altitude until further instructions.
Continuing course to Isafjordu, maintaining altitude at 1,200 feet until further instruction.
Bravo Echo Kilo, VFR altitude.
VFR altitude, Bravo Echo Kilo.
Piaggio Bravo Echo Kilo, maintain VFR altitude below 18,000 feet.
Below 18,000 feet, Bravo Echo Kilo. So we'll go and put the autopilot on. Go for ask for altitude hold. Where we are, which is absolutely fine. So let's turn head tracking off for a moment. And we can see we're closing in on the HSI. You can see it here, look. So you saw me run transmitter a few moments ago. I'm going to go and open a browser and type in transmitter and open the radar display. And there we are. All these are aeroplanes that are using transmitter, and there's us. You can turn the grid on. and we can see our little label. It will keep updating every 5 seconds. So if you've not seen it, it's completely free. Go to transmitter.virtualflight.online. I built it. It's my fault. It's quite useful for group flights. So you can buy the plane in the marketplace, for those that are asking. Nice looking aeroplane, isn't it? So we're going to go nav mode. So the aeroplane is going to switch on. Look, it's capturing, and then when the CDI comes into the middle, it's already started to gently bank left, look, to bring us in on the route. We can change the zoom level on this. So if we get, I think it's the inner knob for zoom. There we go. Pretty cool, isn't it? Some of the systems on it are quite advanced. Should we try the radar out instead? See what that does. I think it might only be weather radar when it says radar, not terrain radar. So we'll go and switch back to terrain radar. So stall speed seems to be about 100 knots or so. Something I have discovered when I've been throwing it around now and again is if you look at it from outside, it's not very stable in yaw at all, and you tend to get an awful lot of roll if you try to yaw. So much so that you end up fighting it with an enormous amount of aileron. So side slipping isn't really an option, or not. Not if you don't know the aeroplane well. So we're just coming in towards BIGJ. What's that one called? Let's have a look.
Regular control from Bravo 9, currently at flight level 340.
So if we go and look on transmitter, we can see ourselves making the same route. If we zoom out, we can see other people that are using transmitter.
Scandinavian 929, flight level 340.
And we can find out who they are. Something else we can do in transmitter, that's quite cool.
Max waypoint.
We can hold the right mouse button down and measure and get bearings and distances really quickly. And we can also get radius rings. We can also click on anybody that's using it, and it tells you all about them, who they are. Anyway. Oh, you can also do this. I forgot that. The other trick it's got up its sleeve, if you haven't watched the earlier video I showed, you can see we're stepping every 5 seconds across the map. But if I turn on smooth mode, it will work out our rate of movement, and suddenly we're smooth. So it uses a technique called interpolation to do that. You can also see who's online, who's using it. If you go and click on one of the others, it will fly across the map to them and zoom in. If you go and click back on myself, for example, it comes back to me. This is all completely free. Anyway. Yeah, search for the P180 if you're looking to buy this aeroplane. It's in the marketplace. Okay, so we are approaching the next airfield, which is it Gyoga? Is that how you pronounce it? Bravo India Golf Juliet. So we're going to request touch and go runway 22. Center Bravo Echo Kilo requesting touch and go runway 22 at Bravo India Golf Juliet. Let's turn the autopilot back off.
Piaggio Bravo Echo Kilo, runway 22 is not available. Cleared for touch and go on runway 26 at Bible. Report on the go.
He's got the airport wrong, hasn't he, again? Correction, runway 22 at Gyoga. So Pete Miller's saying there, it's good to know that you can get corrections from the AI. Yeah, that's one of the things that SayIntentions is really good at. So sometimes it does make mistakes with, you know, some of these out of the way places. And obviously you get language problems with pronunciation where it might misunderstand where you're talking about. But you can challenge it, and it is flexible. I have got Beyond ATC. I prefer SayIntentions over Beyond ATC because it is so much more flexible. It also handles VFR, which I'm doing now, for example. It's better at IFR. It also is incredibly intelligent with IFR. With doing things like, so that say the airspace is empty and you're flying a star into an airport, the controllers will come in and give you vectors straight in. You know, they won't make you go and fly all around. Say it's like a racetrack type standard terminal arrival route. They won't force you to do that. These are some bumpy old runways, aren't they? Okay, straight on. So do we go round or do we go over the top? I think we go round. The scenery looks quite spectacular around here, doesn't it? Can't climb too high, remember. We need to stay below 1800. Yeah, that's a really good point. Reading the live stream chat there. SayIntentions, you can you can have other people in the cockpit with you. So you can have a co-pilot. You can also have cabin crew. and you'll hear the cabin crew talking to the passengers. You can give jobs to the co-pilot, like doing the radio comms, or reading out the checklist to you, and then you can read back to them and confirm you've done things. Whoa, it's pretty spectacular. Whoa, we've gone high. We shouldn't be this high. Just dropping back down to 1800 or less. So we're just skirting around the edge of this hill. Let's turn that off, and I can probably move that out of the way so we can see more of the map. We ought to keep an eye on where we're going so we don't slam into the water. Trimming ourselves out a little bit. One of the features that's coming from SayIntentions is a thing called Skynet, where anybody running SayIntentions on 2020 or 2024, if you turn on Skynet, you'll be able to see each other and turn off the multiplayer in the simulator. But what that essentially means is people in 2020 and 2024 can see each other. So if you've got a group flight with a mixture of people, if you've all got SayIntentions, you can all see each other. And you'll see each other in the appropriate aeroplane shapes and liveries as well. It handles that. SayIntentions integrates really nicely with other livery sets, so things like Simple Traffic, or what's the one from Fly-by-Wire, or that's available in the Fly-by-Wire installer, FSLTL. So it can use those data sets for liveries and aircraft shapes. It does it fully automatically if they're available. Okay, so we're coming around the corner here towards the airfield. So this is Holmavik. Centre, Bravo Echo Kilo requesting touch and go at Holmavik.
Piaggio Bravo Echo Kilo, cleared for touch and go at Holmavik, runway 26. Report on the go.
Yeah, they've really got the runways messed up. It's runway 20, isn't it? Correction, runway 20 at Holmavik for the touch and go, Bravo Echo Kilo. Centre, please confirm runway 20 at Holmavik for the touch and go, Bravo Echo Kilo.
Piaggio Bravo Echo Kilo, cleared for touch and go at Holmavik, runway 26. Report on the go.
Negative, runway 20 at Holmavik, Bravo Echo Kilo.
Piaggio Bravo Echo Kilo, runway 20 is not available at Holmavik. Cleared for touch and go on runway 26. Report on the go.
Yeah, there's something wrong with it this evening, isn't there? So let's drop gear. This is interesting. just bringing us in nice and low. You can hear the sound because I've dropped the gear. You can hear the air rushing past it. It's quite cool, isn't it? So it's going to drop in over this hill, then we'll see the airport. If we go to one side of it, we can just scoot round quickly towards it. So Swerve is saying, is that an AI tower or a human? It's AI. It's actually centre. We're not talking to tower, we're talking to centre. It simulates all of the different parts of ATC, or air traffic services, and they all have different voices, and they're all regional voices as well, which is quite cool. So I think, is Isafjordu got a tower? I can't remember. If we were to go over to Reykjavik, you'd get the obviously all of the proper controllers there talking. But again, it's all AI. And they'll hand off between each other. So the runway is just the other side of the water here. So you can just see it, look. So I guess the correct route would be to go around this hill to do the approach, but we're going to shortcut it and do a bit of a barnstorming run over the top of the hill and in for the touch and go. See it. Good. So not quite the barnstorming run I was fearing. Coming in low on purpose just to have a nice look at the landscape. It's pretty spectacular, isn't it? Us along. There's a hell of a crosswind, look. Centre Bravo Echo Kilo, departing Holmavik. en route to Isafjordu.
Piaggio Bravo Echo Kilo, continue en route to Isafjordu.
Let's have a look. So just to give you some idea, well, we had the tour guide switched on, didn't we? So let's ask her to tell us about this area of Iceland. Was it Sarah we had in the cockpit? It was, wasn't it? Hi Sarah, can you tell us about this area of Iceland, please?
This area of Iceland is known for its stunning landscapes, and at our 2 o'clock position, about 3 miles out, you can see the beautiful Hunaflói Bay. This bay is famous for its rich marine life, including whales and seals, making it a popular spot for wildlife enthusiasts. The bay is also surrounded by dramatic cliffs and mountains, providing a picturesque backdrop for any adventurer. Legend has it that the bay was named after a giant named Huni, who is said to have lived in the area. So if you spot any seals lounging on the rocks, just remember they might be keeping an eye out for that giant.
Okay, gonna turn right. Just exploring really while we are here. Seems a shame not to, doesn't it? So, do we have any anticipated? So we need to get to 5,000 feet for the star into... So let's go into heading mode, autopilot on. I'm going to turn the head tracking off for a moment. So we're at 2,500 feet at the moment. We're going to go and turn the target altitude then to 5,000 feet. We'll go flight level change mode to get there, and we'll open the power up, because obviously when you switch on flight level change it sets the speed bug, the speed you're doing. So then I've given excess power, so to maintain the same speed is turning that excess power into climb rate. So we're going to turn the heading bug across the waypoint as well. We're going to go and get the navigation on the GPS to line up. Yeah, so we're just going to intercept the course. So you'll see the CDI come in when we get close to it. You can see the terrain radar is going in green as we climb away from the hills that are at the same altitude as us. This might come in useful when we get to Isafjordu, depending on the weather. So the game we're playing here, if we go and look at the charts, and where are we? There's our flight. We're doing the... No, is it RNAV C or D? I can't remember. Let's go and have a look. RNAV D. Kumux. There it is. So we're heading for Kumux. Is there no chart for this? Apparently not. Isafjordu. Okay. Information on Isafjordu, open airport. Go to charts, go to approach charts. And here it is. So we're basically going to fly along here. We come in at 4,600 or above 4,600 feet essentially, and then we can fly along 3,000 look and then drop in, and its own navigation basically once you get to where Isafjordu is, and you'll see why when we get there. So we're just coming up to 5,000 feet.
Center, November Tango 87 Sierra Bravo. Request IFR clearance to Kulusuk, please.
So we're just coming in, the CDI is coming in, so we're going to go nav mode.
Cancel existing flight plan.
When this gets close enough, it will drop heading mode and go to lateral navigation. And there it goes.
Pick up IFR clearance to
So you'll see the aeroplane is turning left.
Tango.
So the flight directors have kicked in to turn us left, and we're turning onto the flight plan. So we just need to manage our altitude and speed now, coming in towards ISM 53. So it said on the chart to drop down to 3,000 feet, didn't it? So that's exactly what we're going to do. So 3,000 feet, we do flight level change at 240 knots, and then we're going to pull the power back. So it will hold us at 240 knots by descending. So we're coming down 2,000 feet a minute. That's within 1,000 feet of our target. Center Bravo Echo Kilo on the RNAV-D approach for Isafjordu.
Piaggio Bravo Echo Kilo, cleared for RNAV-D approach into Isafjordu, runway 26. Report on the go.
We'll report on the go, Bravo Echo Kilo. So they think I'm doing a touch and go. I'm going to do one actually, because I want to show you the landing there. It's quite an interesting one.
Piaggio Bravo Echo Kilo, roger, report on the go.
But then we'll call final approach, you know, after we've had a couple of goes at it. It's quite an interesting one. So it's in this inlet over here. You can see it here, look. So we turn across. So if we look on the map properly,
Control, Cessna 414.
There's our decision point.
Cessna 414 Whiskey Bravo, Reykjavik Control, roger. QNH 1016.
QNH 1016.
So if we can't see it or we don't feel confident of being able to do it, actually this is going for runway 26. Yeah, this is the easiest way.
1 o'clock 6 miles.
The more difficult approach,
advisory frequency approved.
If the wind is the other way, you have to fly down this side of the valley, just miss the hill, and come in runway 08. Maybe for a bit of fun, to try the aeroplane out, to see how it handles, we'll turn the weather off after we've done our initial approach, and we'll go for the runway 10. Is it runway 10 or 08? 08, sorry. So it's in there, basically. Or is it the next one? I can never remember which inlet it is. So Pete Miller is on about the engines don't seem to change pitch. That's because they're constant speed propellers. You're hearing the propeller speed. They're turboprops, remember? So all you're really doing here is changing. You can change the RPM. But the power has nothing to do with the propeller speed. Power is governing the gas turbine, but most of what you're hearing is the propellers. So on a turboprop, power governs how much fuel you're injecting into the gas turbine to be burnt to turn the impeller that turns the propeller, if that makes sense. So yeah, power won't have any sound, but it will have an effect up here. And also propeller speed. So by lowering the propeller speed, they'll grab more pitch probably. Yeah, look at that. Interesting. But they'll also have various protections built in, so it won't. This is a FADEC throttle system, meaning it's electronic, so it's going to choose the best program for what you've asked it to do. So I think it's this one. Looking at the map, we're just coming up to the edge of here. Yeah, it's in this inlet here. So let's turn the autopilot off. And turn the head tracking on so I can look down there. You'll see the airfield is tight along the left side of the valley. And there it is down in the corner there. Let's get our gear down. And flaps down. So you will see we are going to be hugging the wall of the hill on approach. And this is the easier approach. As I said, I'll turn the wind off so it's not the wrong direction and show you the opposite approach once we've come in. How far away are we from Reykjavik? Quite a long way, aren't we? Yeah, it's way down here, look.
Duke 25 Whiskey, roger.
Turning left, heading to 175, vectors to my IR, then no.
Duke 25 Whiskey, climb and maintain flight level 130.
Climbing to 130, Duke.
There's a bit of wind shear going on. So that was the reverse pitch kicking in. So what we're going to do is roll up to the buildings here. We'll just pull off the runway and I'll switch SayIntentions off for a bit. Okay. Because we're going to go and turn the weather off. It's an amazing looking place, isn't it, Isafjordu? So we're going to go and turn the weather off, just so you get to see this around the other way, if that makes sense. So we're going to go to custom weather, turn the live weather off, go to a few clouds for today, and we'll do the opposite approach. So that hill over there, we will be skimming it in a moment. We'll be coming around, just missing it to line up. To be honest, it's more fun doing this approach in something like an A320, if you have to miss the hill and come in. So flaps are ready, very good. The airspeed 110 knots and rotate and gear up and flaps can come up. So what we're going to do is fly out towards the end of the canyon, and then we're going to fly, turn a U-turn, just trying to scrub some speed off. Gear down. And flaps down. There's the airfield. And brakes. Let's see how fast we can stop. Pretty quickly if we need to. Have I tried any gliding yet in 2024? It's interesting you asked that. Very briefly the other day, I've actually got friends sent me their latest project they've been working on, and I haven't got around to trying it out yet, so that may well be in the very near future. I have loaded it up and had a quick look at it. For some reason I couldn't get the towing to work properly with it, but I'll have to have a proper look at it one day when I'm a bit more awake and a bit more lucid. Try and dig into why it wasn't working. I feel fit here. just about to clip his head. So I've not actually shut this airplane down yet, so this is going to be interesting. I presume... No, that's just reverse, isn't it? It's going to be the the propeller controllers, isn't it? To pull them back to ground idle and then cut off. What else are we going to have to do? The pitos, the bleed airs can come off now. The auto feather can come off. The fuel valves can get shut off now. The avionics can stay on for a moment. EPU arm doesn't need to be on. Generators don't need to be on anymore. Whoops. And yeah, so then finally it'll be the avionics, and then batteries off. And we're golden dark. And then we can go and unlock the door. And job's a good one. Back where we started. Well, not where we started from, but we've actually got to a destination. So there we go. That was the Piaggio P180 in Flight Simulator 2024. I didn't realise until this morning that it was actually available for 2024. I thought it was a 2020 only aircraft, and then somebody told me. So I went and bought a copy. So as I said, I followed a functional procedure of my own design when we were getting it ready for flight. So if we go and open a browser, and if I go to Ko-fi.com, there's a link to this in the notes. I'll just show you this once again. So if I go to my page in Ko-fi.com and go to the shop, and there it is. And if I go to drive.google.com and search for P180, pull up the document for it, and there it is. So what it does, it goes through everything you need to do to start the airplane up, with where things are, what to click, what to turn, what to press. But more interesting for some, I guess, is that I've done the flight management computer steps as well in there. The typical steps you do to follow, to program the flight planning. It hasn't got the full FMC in it, not like the big Boeings, so it's kind of about 60-70% there, I guess. There's bits and pieces that just aren't implemented, but that's fine. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. Hopefully you enjoyed that, and I'll see you again soon. Take care.